Well, you know I'm always here for you. Use this brush. I'm always here for you. You know I'm always here for you. Always here to listen. I'm always here to help you. I'm always here to listen and to help you. I'm anxious for you to be happy. And thank you. And I'm whisper in your ear to be good and tell you that I hope you're having to be good there. Really relaxing time. You're a strong person. I know you. I believe in you. And you're a strong person. Helping you unwind. I believe in you. At the end of your day.
So ASMR stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, and it's a totally like pseudo-scientific acronym that was created in this chat room in 2008. And so one thing that people were talking about in this forum was this feeling that they got sometimes when someone was talking very soft or when they were hearing the sound of scissors that made the tingling happen. So everybody in this chat room united around the idea of this phenomenon, which is just that if you hear a really soft sound, some of the time you get this tingling feeling in your scalp and your spine, and it's incredibly relaxing. The most popular sounds are probably things like nail tapping, eating, water sounds, kind of nail polish bottles, paper crinkling. Kind of 2006, 2008, people were talking about this, and YouTube at the time was gaining more and more momentum as, you know, a social network. And so out of these chat rooms, people started to create videos specifically to provoke this reaction. At first, it was just a lot of found footage. So Bob Ross, who ran a famous painting show in the early 1990s, was some people like their earliest memory of ASMR was Bob Ross painting, right? So at first people would just post Bob Ross videos and call them ASMR, and then slowly people began to actually create videos to provoke the reaction. And that's where we are now, is that there are like more than 2 million videos or something like this on YouTube that are posted as ASMR videos.
And let's put in some happy little tree shapes, and I'm just looking for some basic shapes here. Don't want a lot of detail. And all we're doing is just sort of touching the canvas and there, just striking the canvas.
And then obviously there are also kind of these like narrative tropes, right? So there are a ton of role plays. You have extremely intimate encounters, so ASMR artists, this is what we call the video creators, pretending to be your best friend, your lover, like this kind of stuff. And then you also have these role plays that follow professional scenarios, so like a real estate agent or a doctor visit. And then there are also role plays that are totally fantastic, right? Like, and these are some of my favorites. So there's this ASMR artist named Tony Bomboni who is particularly good at the fantastic ones, and he's often like pretending to be an Egyptian tomb nymph or like a Reiki healer, which isn't fantastic, but like, you know, like having these kind of effects on his videos, which are fantastic. And Heather Feather is also, she's also like a famous ASMR artist who's really good at the fantastic ones. Like at one point she is this princess of Candyland and like has this green screen of like this candy castle behind her.
Hello, traveler. Thank you for coming today.
And this is one of the things that's so powerful about ASMR, is just this kind of like endless ability for new scenarios in which the like soothing and the relaxing and the tingling can occur. It's a calm in the middle of this storm, but it's a calm that's still located on your computer. And one of the things that I think might be interesting about it is that it could maybe teach you to interact with things that are not on your computer in a similar manner, right? And this is one of the like kind of magical things about it, is that this calm is being produced by very ordinary objects that the ASM artist is touching. So like her landscape of filming looks exactly like the landscape where you're sitting at your desk watching the videos, you know? And so like in this way, like the objects around you also possibly become, you know, I don't want to say enchanted because like it's not, but like they become useful in this like other way that you haven't thought of them before, if this makes sense. Like one good example of this is that I was watching with my friend Laurel a video of somebody peeling an orange, and then like for the next week, every time she peeled an orange or like saw somebody peel an orange, she got like an ASMR reaction, you know? And this is really interesting to me as like a kind of like relearning the spaces around you in the manner of the ASMR video. So the wonderful thing about ASMR is that as long as it falls into this certain soundscape, like anything can provoke it, right? I like kind of haven't met an object yet that I can't make an ASMR sound out of. Like the most effective ASMR is recorded in this way to simulate real sound. And this is done like real sound that you might experience in any like non-recorded atmosphere, you know, that I might experience in this room. And this is done via binaural recording, and binaural microphones are positioned in this way to simulate like the space and the padding between human ears. So when you record sound around binaural microphones, it has this 360-degree effect, so that if I snap my fingers here next to a binaural microphone, when you listen through headphones, it will sound like somebody is snapping their fingers right here. And what this does is create this really uncanny recorded presence, right? Like I'm often recording with my binaural microphones in a kind of in squeaky apartments or squeaky houses, and if somebody is opening a door in the flat above me, when I listen to it through headphones, it really sounds like there's a door opening in the flat above me, you know, and so it kind of becomes this, this kind of like theatrical trick in a way, you know, but because ASMR is so much about presence and about feeling the sounds, binaural recording has worked very, very well for it. Because of the method of recording and the method of address, right, the videos are often like the ASM artist talking directly to the viewer, like saying you, and pretending to be, you know, a personal intimate in some ways. And so there is like both sonically and content-wise this kind of intimacy. And it's a really interesting thing to play with because it's there, but it's also not there, right? It's there, but it's there for any of the like, you know, 30 million people who might watch the video. It's with anything. And in this way, I often think of ASMR as quite analogous to nursing and the kind of care that it gives, and that like it's very personal focused care, but like in a specific dosage for a specific situation, you know, and I think it's quite powerful because nursing obviously happens in like a very specific kind of environment, you know, in a hospital when you're ill, and this is in your home when you're well, you know, and with what I'm trying to do also in performance, you know, and so I think it's a kind of relationship between strangers that you don't really see and wouldn't see, and also that strikes many people as weird or alienating because there is no other, like it's kind of a new form of being close to somebody, you know, I think I can say without exaggerating too much, and this immediately makes it really, really quite powerful to work with, just because it is such a striking kind of relationship.
How's it going? Today, to the box.